Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian Howard. I am the town manager. We are having a Town of Randolph Emergency Management Team update. It is nice to have the team together. I've done a number of updates for my office. I thought it'd be important to have our entire team together. So starting off, we're joined by our superintendent of schools, Tia Stavel. We've seen a lot of each other today by Zoom meetings. So I figured, why not one more, right? So if you want to give an update to the folks at home, there's a whole host of things going on. I know that we just posted something about the medication give back for students. Yes. Take it away.
Yes, will do. Okay, thanks, Brian. Since April 27th, Randolph has distributed over 18,900 meals to the community. So our numbers have continued to go up, and so we are happy to service and are glad that people are actually taking advantage of the meal program. The remote learning plan has been updated based on the commissioner's new guidance. So families should see more live teaching sessions, a focus on specific standards. But if any family has a question, I strongly encourage you to reach out to your child's teacher or principal for specifics to your child's grade level and the standards being covered. I've received emails and calls regarding re-entry to school. And even though I don't have a lot of answers for you now, I will tell you that we are talking about it and we are working on putting a plan into place. Some of the questions have been about ending the year and cleaning out lockers. Right now, we are trying to keep our buildings closed. They're being sanitized. Some are done, some are still in the works. But we are waiting for the governor to make an announcement on May 18th around what he's doing for social distancing and opening schools. And then we're going to put together a plan to arrange pickup of items at schools. Right now, we're looking at possibly having our staff empty out lockers, putting everything in bags, and creating some sort of drive-up system where people can pick up the bags curbside. But we will let you know. Again, based on what the governor says, we may do something where we stagger people to come into the buildings, but not as likely, just because we're trying to keep the buildings as sanitized as possible with all the work that our maintenance team has been doing. But as soon as I get more guidance on that, I will be reaching back out to the community. In terms of opening in September, we really don't know what that's going to look like, but I will be putting together a re-entry committee that will be comprised of various stakeholders in the district. We'll be looking at school committee members, teachers, parents, councilmen, women. We'll be looking at all of those people to really figure out what is the best way to reopen our schools using the guidance that we get from the state level. I've also gotten lots of questions about summer program, and again, we're waiting to see what we can offer. We do know that we will be offering at least remote learning, but we were hoping to do some face-to-face time. So as soon as we find out more information and know how far we can go with this and that it's safe to proceed, we will do that. So on that note, I would definitely say stay tuned, and we will keep you apprised of the information as we get it. Some things that I just want to highlight that have been great in the district. First of all, today is National School Nurse Day. So I would like to thank our school nurses for all that they have done throughout the school year, as well as during this pandemic. They have been exceptional. They're providing professional development. They are assisting right now with the kindergarten student registration process, and they are keeping us updated on all the information relevant to COVID-19. So they've been really helpful, and they're doing a bunch of other things to support families. There are various drives going on around the district for picking up medication. I would say check our website or call your child's school directly to make special arrangements with the nurses to get your child's medication. Most of our parents have done that already, but if you have not and you find yourself in need to do so prior to us doing the locker days, reach out to the school. And again, we have information on our website. We've asked the town to put it on their website for specific information around medication. It is Teacher Appreciation Week, and I'd like to honor and celebrate the educators in this district for a job well done in engaging students and their families. The Donovan Elementary School conducted a parade yesterday. There were over 45 cars, teachers, students, parents. We're super excited. I've gotten so much positive feedback. Lots of town spirit, school pride were on display. Even residents in the town took to emailing to say how happy they were. And it just seemed to make everyone's day. So we're really, really super excited about that. Ms. Saseski, she's a special education teacher at the middle school, is featured in an article with Randolph Wicked Local. She discusses how she and her team are embracing remote learning to support the students in their sub-separate class. It's a great read, and it really helps understand how Randolph really stepped up in the midst of this crisis to get on board with remote learning well before others. And there are still districts I'm hearing at this time that have still not reached where we are. So I'm really, really proud of the team. To celebrate our teachers, the administration in the district, we prepared a lesson for this Monday that just passed for all of our students. And so if you've got time, I would say check out our Facebook page to see how our amazing RPS students have showed appreciation to their teachers. There's some really great videos, posters, just great things to see. Happy, smiling kids thanking their teachers for jobs well done. And then lastly, there will be moving up ceremonies for our 5th and 8th graders. We are working on them, trying to get dates together, but there are teams working on that, so you will hear more. But the big news is that we have worked together to develop a parade for the Randolph High School class of 2020. I want to thank the town manager, Brian Howard, Chief Pace from the police department, Chief Donovan from Randolph Fire, and Stu and his crew over at RCTV. And also Dr. Kennard and his team at the Randolph High School, for one, agreeing to pull together a parade for these students to create an inspiring day to celebrate our seniors. That should be sort of a cherry on top of what has already been an amazing week for Randolph, and just trying to pull together the spirit, keep everyone excited and motivated during what is such an emotional and difficult time for us. So thank you for all that you all do to support Randolph Public Schools. And if we can be of support to you, please reach out to our schools and to my office. Thank you.
Thank you, Tia. And to hear the number of meals that are being provided through the school department is very impressive. And you hit it right on the head. It is National Teacher Week, and I had an opportunity to see a lot of the video and photos from yesterday's drive-through around town, and it's a good mix of police, fire, and DPW vehicles, teachers. The kids, without a doubt, got a huge kick out of it. For some of them, they haven't seen their teachers now for 6 to 8 weeks, so it was very, very cool, and that was very well done. So thank you, Tia. I know you have another meeting to go to, and thank you for Zooming in.
Thank you, Brian. You've
My
been
pleasure.
very helpful to us, so thank you.
My pleasure.
Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you. That was the superintendent of schools, Tia Stavell, joining us to give an update on the Randolph Public Schools and some of their efforts over the past couple of weeks. At this time, probably the biggest news, Randolph did start a face covering order a few weeks ago. At this time, the governor has made it statewide and has made some changes to it, not significant. Chief Pace, could you give us an update on the face covering law?
Yes, good afternoon. By an executive order of the governor, as of today, May 6th, a face covering order went into effect for persons over the age of 5 years old. The order requires that when in a public place, whether indoors or outdoors, and when the person is unable to maintain social distancing, they must wear a mask. When a person is inside or waiting in line outside of any grocery store, pharmacy, or other retail store, they're required to wear a mask. or when a person is providing or using the services of a taxi, a car, a livery, ride-sharing like Uber or Lyft, or mass public transit like the MBTA bus or trains, or while within an enclosed or semi-enclosed transit stop or waiting area. So those are the times that you're required to wear a face covering. For children between the ages of 2 and 5, it's encouraged that they wear a face mask. And there are also some exemptions to the order. There are some medical conditions. If a person cannot breathe safely, they can be exempted. Or those that have behavioral health diagnoses and are unable to do so, and that's the and unable to do so. Or those communicating with people who rely upon lip reading. Also, those who require supplemental oxygen to breathe are also exempted. However, if you're walking outdoors and you can socially distance, you're not required to wear a mask. If you're running outside, I see a lot of joggers going up and down High Street every day. If you are so properly socially distanced, you're not required to wear a face mask if you're exercising.
Chief, I know this weekend we had to make a few extra efforts because the weather was so nice at a few locations in town. If you could just remind folks as far as the athletic field and Belcher Park, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yes, the Randolph High School track is open to walkers only who are properly socially distanced. The inside of the field there, we've had to have people move several times. That is not open. Actually, some signs are going to be posted very soon.
Additional signage.
Yeah.
We're going even bigger.
And we certainly understand people have been inside a long time. We get it, but unfortunately, due to the situation that we have, we cannot allow any type of contact sports inside the field at the high school or at Belcher Park or at Powers Farm. So we just ask that you please maintain social distancing, and we'll all get through this together.
Thank you, Chief. And I do want to highlight the efforts of our public safety departments and the leadership of both. Randolph, as everyone knows, is one of the hot spots on the coronavirus. And we have been extremely, and I don't want to say lucky, because I do believe the plans put in place beforehand by both you and Chief Donovan, and then the public safety departments, the employees themselves, the firefighters and the police officers, doing everything they can to remain safe. We've had really, it's impressive to see the numbers. We're remaining safe, and I had a chance to see between shifts as they were cleaning out the cruisers and disinfecting, just very impressive. So I just wanted to thank everybody involved in that process. We want to make sure we keep everybody safe and the first responders for everything that they're doing for us. At this time, I'm going to hand it off to our Health Commissioner, Gerard Cody. Jerry?
Thank you, Mr. Howard. I'd like to give you an update and circle back with some extra comments about the face mask and some of the questions that we get at the Health Department. So statewide, we have 70,271 confirmed cases as of yesterday. So those are positive confirmed cases. And those that were tested, we had 349,000. So that's statewide as well. So that gives us a 21% of those that are tested are positive. So remember, in order to get tested, you would have to have the symptoms. You have to have the cough, you have to have the fever, you have to have the shortness of breath, or some other related symptoms that your physician may recommend that you would be tested, or perhaps you're a close contact. So out of that number, it's still 21% are testing positive. So last week, if you recall, our last update, it was at 22%. So it's trending in the right direction, mostly due to our mitigation efforts. So the Health Department is so grateful for how diligent the community has responded to our orders that we've issued, and there's still some work to do, but it's a disruptive and challenging time. We still have a ways to go to protect each other, especially the vulnerable members of our community and the essential workers like hospital and nursing home staff. So we know that the governor put into effect the face covering. So remember, it's not a medical grade mask like a surgical mask. It's still a face covering similar to the order that we put out earlier. It can be a bandana, it could be a cloth covering. We have some examples here. And I know we have some resources through Liz if somebody still needs to get a face covering. But oftentimes in the health department will get calls from residents, and we appreciate the efforts to help us monitor the situation. But I just want to address, like, we get calls about like a pizza shop or a sub shop somewhere where they see a cook not wearing a face covering, and the reason they're not wearing a face covering is that they are at least 6 feet away from somebody else. So if you look at the grill area, it's not an area where it's there's a lot of passers-by that are traveling back and forth. Usually if you're at the grill, you're at the grill, and we don't want any safety issues by somebody having restricted vision from wearing a mask. Could fog their glasses if they're wearing glasses, or if they're at the grill. We don't want to see anyone hurt themselves at the grill or the fryer later too. So that's something to keep in mind. It's still, please continue to call with any of your concerns, but that's a general explanation if you do see that. Okay. So we need to stay vigilant. There's no vaccine. There's no cure. Testing for COVID-19 is a snapshot in time. Yes, you can go out and get tested if you're symptomatic. You can also come back negative. But remember, you can get infected 5 minutes, 5 days later after you have that test. So it's just because if you tested negative, I don't want it to give you a false sense of security thinking that you'll never get this disease. It's still very contagious, and we need to follow the important mitigation steps that we all are so familiar with now. So social distancing, Chief Pace mentioned that, especially in the public areas around the parks, around the walking track. We want to maintain that 6-foot distance. We want you to stay home if you're sick. I know you've heard this over and over again, but practicing good personal hygiene, like frequent hand washing and not touching your face, is key to limiting the spread of COVID-19. Now, if you do have the symptoms, contact your primary care physician. So the symptoms are fever, cough, shortness of breath. If you do not have a primary care physician, you're able to call Mannett Community Health Center. If you do not have insurance, you can call Mannett Community Health Center. The number is 617-376-3000. We also, at the health department, we are doing contact tracing. So you may, if you're a positive or if you are a close contact of somebody that was a positive case, you may get a phone call from the public health department or from a message on the machine that will say COVID-19. We're just asking you to answer the call. It's so difficult to track people when there's no communication. The phone call is very important. You can always call back if you're suspicious about the number, but it'll pop up on the screen as COVID-19 on your smartphone. So remember, if you are recovering at home, we want you to clean and disinfect. Certain household cleaners that have bleach or normal household cleaners are sufficient as long as surfaces are wiped often on doorways, handles, and other frequently touched surfaces. If you ever have any questions, please contact the Public Health Department, and thank you for your attention to this matter.
Thank you, Jerry, and I want to thank you for all your hard work. We do have a team that has been going around town and doing, dropping off signage, but also walking in and taking a look at the masks and the face coverings and how it's going. Overall, compliance has been very good. I do think that the governor now doing it statewide is going to help. So you don't have different rules in different communities on something as important as the face covering. So I'm very pleased that that occurred. If you are in need of a mask, we've done hundreds of them through Liz LaRossi. Liz is going to be giving an update momentarily. If you are making masks and would like to donate them to the town so that we can provide them to those that need them, we will continue to accept those and process those. So again, on masks, they're important, and we'll do what we can to assist folks that don't have them. Want to remind folks that the dog park does remain closed. However, Powers Farm is open. Belcher Park, you can walk through Belcher Park. It's still a beautiful area to visit. However, organized games and sports should not be occurring. So you can still go out and enjoy the good weather. In addition, we do have an access point to the Blue Hills at the Donovan School in front of the school. If you park in that parking lot, there's a path back there. So you still have plenty of opportunities to go out and enjoy the good weather, but having active sporting events going on, such as basketball, football, and soccer, at this point is just not a smart thing to do. Want to remind folks, curbside recycling, curbside leaf pickup, which is kind of recycling, I suppose. If we would prefer, some folks enjoy actually making their own compost with their stuff. That's recycling. However, we have 2 more sessions. One of them is this Saturday, May 9th, and please put your stuff out the night before. They start bright and early, and they have multiple locations and multiple trucks that they go with. So do not use the time that your normal trash goes out as the time to put out your leaves. So all that information is on the website. Please make sure that you're getting that out as early as possible. I do want to mention a few other quick items, and I do want to thank Senator Walter Timmelty. I want to thank Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. We have some announcements that'll be coming out in the next couple of days in regards to some additional testing. We do want to thank Manit. They have made hundreds upon hundreds of calls to seniors in Randolph and to their patients in Randolph. They've also, if you do not have health insurance or a primary care physician, they've been providing that coverage. We're looking to expand on that. And we'll get some announcements coming up, and I cannot thank enough Senator Timmelty and Congresswoman Pressley for their assistance in providing us different opportunities and options for Randolph residents. One of the things that I think is absolutely positively critical as we move forward, and the numbers are going down, both hospitalizations, the numbers in town are going down. Once we do some additional testing, they'll probably go up a bit, but I want to make sure that when they start to test asymptomatic residents in the community, that Randolph is near the front of that line. So that's what we're working with Senator Timmelty and Congresswoman Pressley on, and we're hoping to have some good information about that moving forward. I also, people are talking about Walmart and Avon closed, Quincy closed. They closed the store in Abington. Their Worcester store had some issues. And the key to remember in all of that is what our Commissioner of Health just said. You have to be on the defense. You have to wear your mask. You have to wash your hands. You have to do the right things. We're nearing the fourth quarter. You don't want to be the Atlanta Falcons. You want to be the New England Patriots in the fourth quarter. We can't slow down now, folks. Liz, you've got a lot going on in your area. I do want to thank you and your team for everything that's been going on. It's not easy to produce the type of programming and access that you're continuing to do, and I know the residents truly appreciate it. So, Liz?
Thank you, Brian. First of all, if you've noticed my informal attire, I have our Cleanup Day shirt on. I wanted to thank everyone for their hard work at our virtual town cleanup. The official event may be over, but we hope you will keep your buckets and grabbers and continue to clean up year-round to keep our town beautiful and green as it should be. Next, I wanted to just mention, if you don't already have a library card to access free books, movies, music, homework help, job help, and more, there is a link to easily register for free right on our website, turnerfreelibrary.org. Our virtual statistics have skyrocketed with twice as many people downloading ebooks as before. Last month alone, 94 students used our free homework tutors, 25 people used our free interview prep and resume service, and over 1,900 free classes were taken, all virtually. In regards to resources, the library, through a collaboration with the town, will be releasing a comprehensive resource guide later this week. In the meantime, please make sure to visit the library's main page and click on local and state resources to view this data. In regards to programming, May's virtual programs for the library and RICC are well underway. We have regularly scheduled programs on Facebook and Zoom for all ages, so check out the schedule on our websites and Facebook pages. Some of the bigger collaborations that are happening are a Mother's Day or Caregivers Day craft take to make. Library and rec staff will be handing out ready-to-make bagged crafts in a surprise to all registered persons this Saturday between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. at the RICC. Instructions on pickup are being sent via email, but it will be a no-contact situation, obviously. We have 93 kids signed up for now and have room for only a few more, so make sure you get onto our Facebook page to sign up for that. If you are in need of a creative outlet during this time of increased tension, be sure to sign up for the RICC's annual art show digital edition at randolphricc.com and sign up for the library's annual poetry creativity contest at turnerfreelibrary.org. All ages and artistic abilities are welcome for both. An update from our resiliency committee. Our food drive for the Friendly Food Pantry last Saturday was amazing. We had over $6,000 in monetary donations and several truckloads of food donations. In other efforts, seniors are still being matched with volunteers for grocery shopping. Those with food insecurity are being matched with the Food Pantry and Concerned Citizens group, and reusable masks are being delivered to those in need. If you or someone you know needs assistance with anything during this time, please email us at randolphresiliencycommittee@gmail.com or call us at 781-961-0930, extension 113. Two final updates. I want to point out that Elder Affairs, through the Resiliency Committee and its volunteers, are still doing call-outs to the over 8,000 seniors we have in town. They will not call you from a block number. They will identify themselves as town volunteers with Elder Affairs, and they will not ask you for any personal information. They will only ask you if you are okay and if you are in need of resources, which they can then connect you to. Finally, a partnership with local nonprofits to set up a local fund to help with rent and utility assistance for those in need is underway. We're getting this set up within the next 3 weeks, and we will keep you posted of the progress. We will be actively seeking donations, and we'll have a formalized intake process for people to apply for much-needed funding. We'll let you know when this is set up and ready to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. I had an opportunity to be in some of those meetings, and I'm also very excited about what we're going to be able to do there for folks in town. Just to highlight what Liz mentioned, to continue to see people a week or 2 weeks later continuing to put cleanup photos on social media, really and beautifying your area of town. Just really cool, really awesome, so thank you. A few questions people asked. Yes, you could have bicycles in Belcher Park, not on the fields, but anywhere else. On the a Christmas tree for the drop-off on the, I'm not sure whether or not they would necessarily take a tree. There is no weight limit on, you can put as much stuff out as you want as long as it's in those appropriate bags. But the rule, I'm just double checking the rule here, on the, is that it's supposed to be leaves, grass clippings, small branches, and brush less than 1 inch in diameter, 3 feet long. So what I would suggest is, and you can't use plastic bags, it has to be paper bags, loose barrels, or cardboard boxes. However, if you had a Christmas tree and if you were able to cut it into sections, they might be able to take it because those get handled differently after the Christmas season than where they bring this stuff now. But I suppose you could try and put it out and see what happens. And if you have any issues after that, let us know. That said, We are also working on our own reopening plan for town government. We don't know exactly what Governor Baker's plan will have after May 18th. However, I think there are certain things that we know collectively that plan will have. We have a beautiful town hall, but it is an old school. It's an old high school, and the hallways are somewhat tight. So we're looking at everything from how to best service the public, making sure that whatever limits are put in place for the number of folks allowed in an area, to also having the distance of 6 feet. But if you're 6 feet in front of you, you'll have about 4 people before you hit the window of the clerk's office when you're going to the collector's office. So it is tight. We are looking at different ways to make sure that we can open safely and be able to do everything that we can to assist the public. It is something where I think all of us are involved in government to help folks as much as we can, and emails and phone calls are nice, but it's nice to see people in the building. I know at the library, it is a very lonely place right now, so we can't wait till we're at a point where we are able to safely have people coming back into our town buildings. That said, there are a lot of unknowns right now. We're going to continue to look at those. For example, can we offer the summer playground? We don't know. To what degree can we offer it? We don't know. So we're looking for a lot of information before we move forward on some of the things that we try and do. So we want you to stay tuned for that. At this time, we, as I always do, and if RCTV could put it up on the screen, Randolph has over 60% of you have already responded to your census, which is excellent. However, we want to continue to get people to self-respond so that they don't come out and door knock your home over and over and over. So if you want to respond to the census, there are a series of phone numbers up on the screen of which you can call those in whatever language is best for you to safely respond to your census. I will continue to push that it is critical that you answer your census. Every 10 years, we got one shot at it, folks. That is the numbers. It's on the website. Please make sure that you answer your town census. So that said, I thank everybody at home for tuning in. We are heading in the right direction. All of the efforts have been worth it. It is getting much more difficult with the good weather now here, but we've got to continue to do the right thing and keep our eye on the prize. So we will update you again as soon as we have some new additional information about the reopening plan for the town of Randolph. Thank you for tuning in, and always feel free to shoot us any questions, emails, texts. We're always available. Thank you.